So if I make recordings like this a lot, like on my laptop, then I can go online, talk to other people. Once I talk to other people, guess what happens? They have questions. Then I can answer a question in the liking of what the vibration is to merge with. So then upon that, you can understand better and better and better of like what I can do and how I can move through to make everybody understand these things. But I'm not gonna be doing this with my hands like that. I'm just like this. My dad's like messing with the phone or something. His mouth, because sometimes his lip twitches or something. But I don't know. It's just kind of funny. So, oh yeah, I'm a good listener though when it comes to other people talking, because I listen to so many people online and I understand exactly what they're saying. So I would even think of things of like, yeah. I almost communicate with something on YouTube. I understand it, it like triggers something, and then I'll get all happy about it. You know what I mean? Especially when it clicks. So that's been happening a lot more too, because more people are waking up to this whole aspect of like who they are, and it's more on the scale of like their inner aspects too are getting revealed, so then they understand like the whole energetic scale of what they're connected with from themselves, as well as other things. But the other things is as well as what we're tapping into to bring to the table, because every time we wear a crystal like this, or integrate with a tree back there or something, it could be even any type of tree or anything. It really doesn't matter. But around rivers or any other like forest that's like deeper in the woods, that things grow kind of like naturally and kind of like funky looking, them are the areas to actually integrate with, because it's more natural and pure. That's how you know that the oxygen level for that tree to grow so uniquely was because of the characteristics of all the trees around them that gave it that life to begin with to do that. That's why from the deep woods, the oxygen level is higher in that sort of environment rather than on the edge of the woods line. That's why things look a little bit different between. I don't know how to describe it. It's more like, you know what I mean? It's untouched for a while. When it's untouched from man for a long time, it's more of the pure creation of itself that takes place. Because too much manipulation of a species or a tree, what will happen is that then that can't produce or even have that same characteristic unless it rebuilds itself to that. And it takes a lot of time for that characteristic to be and take place. So what's happening really, if we don't have any of that characteristic taking place on the earth and periods of time, in the future we're going to have to strive to make that take place, which is going to take hundreds, 200, 300 years, you know? But we don't see that like as a really strong importance. That's why more of that needs to have a stronghold in this world, so then that can have to happen. Because without that taking place, we really are going to strive for that in the future. Then when things do get to the nitty gritty, which we don't have to make that happen. That's why with a lot of your time and energy and money, people, universe, time, energy, money, it's fucking what it is. But um we use that. Why can't we start going to really put all our time and energy and soul into what we put to make happen for this to happen, but in certain foundations which everybody can align to, like something outside of me, somebody could create something, right? That's this way of going about business, that everything that gets produced now would not be any of plastic, more organic, reusable, more than once. like but it's going back to that in a sort of company within itself to try to change that, to shift that in itself too. Let alone because this has to, like, we could do this from ground zero with that new society, which that's what's going to take place because that's how we're going to go about things, and it's only going to be from what we're in on, and that's the people that want to live that way truly. And once this is functioning right, it won't be a struggle though, but we're going to be living right. See, and that's what people want. And then it's more on the fact of that once this is, people start doing that with their hearts even inside the system to change it, that is very good too. But the only reason why I can't really do that is because if I had my, all this stuff straightened out, where I had that vehicle, I have to, go through the interlock, but it's been over 2 years since it was suspended for only a year. Now it's going on almost 3 years, so it's like, you know what I mean? It's just, I need to totally get that out of my head, you know what I mean? Until I get down to Kentucky to buy a car, I'll get all the other ones exempt. My car's unlisted, you know what I mean? That I prior owned because they'll just junk them, you know what I mean? And then, move on. But I have to have some type of transportation, and it's not like any fucking UFO device type thing. Even if they gave it to me, I couldn't use it here. It'd make the news or something. You know what I mean? So it's my situation is my situation, which people don't realize either. It's just like if I had other options, I would be taking them. That's why I'm just working, saving up my money, and having somebody help me, like Brad or somebody, to drive down there and pay him extra $100 plus all the gas money, just because it's that much of a priority for me to do this. And it only take a day, to go there and back, pretty much, or more, a little bit more than a day. But that's my plan. That's ultimately my freaking plan when it comes down to that, because I want to live so free, and I have to take care of myself anyway and walk everywhere I go anyway. So I'll have to get a bike, until then. And a bike, I can go really far distances with a bike, and getting used to that will take a little time, but oh well, like it's gonna be my new whole way of being, and I'm gonna try to get as much as my being can, handle energetically and through integration, because integration is not always easy because it takes a lot of energy, right? And then to keep up with the physical side of things about whatever's going on that I have to do, you know what I mean? That's why there's a take and pull between physicality. Through the ethereal, you don't have to worry about, dying because you're already in that state. So that has more freeness of expansion. Here, it was always struggling in duality about surviving. Everybody's working hard as they can at the end of the day, and then getting home, and then not having any time, and doing the same thing. Their life becomes not their life. It becomes just the whole state of being that they're in. That's why the money, you know what I mean? It gets what you want on the weekends, but that weekends just become your life. Think of that, you know what I mean? That's why I want to get a part-time job when I was in Kentucky. Then I'll be able to save my money all the time. I'll rarely spend my money at all, you know what I mean? Keep on saving even then. Live off the land. I'll try growing every freaking second of the time, you know what I mean? Until it's weeded out good enough, or you know what I mean? I'll do whatever it takes. I'll keep on trying. Eventually, it'll be good. If I have to get some like cow manure or something to spread on the land, making sure it does good, I'll just have to do them little things to just make sure it makes itself. Because once it does, it'll be possible, and then people, and the possibility of people, and possibility of people, possible. See, the people are possible. What's not possible is you saying it's not possible. See, that's the time, space, reality, what it's trying to teach us. Because it can get so hard on us to make us learn that lesson that, you know what I mean? You have to fight almost to remain the way you want to remain in this existence. It'll pull you so many different ways regardless. If you get lazy for, say, 1 second, then your consciousness can be pulled. And they're trying to pull it. And it's just like something trying to always pull you when you're trying to, yeah, exactly. So it's like, there's still the outside world doing that. But that's why like minds, once they, talk and be friends to each other, grow something, then there's ease inside the mind. And things are flowing and you feel like life's good. And you feel that sense of healing and fulfillment and ease. And that's because even when it takes place for me having conversations, there's another side of me that comes out that's way better, because it's these facts of ourselves, right? It's these facts of that when we do step outside of that state of consciousness which tries to control us, it becomes freer, and then we engage in conversation and it takes itself somewhere else. And in that sort of sense, we uncover more information upon ourselves. It's just like when we make podcast videos, more information upon ourselves. See, it's almost like communicating with yourself in a way between selves. When we're doing this, it's like we're trying to emanate that information. Upon our will, it's the truth of our being trying to come out, because we feel that. We must feel the pressure from this computer, not necessarily, but some might feel the urge to just say on this video, I got certain things that I got to say to everything, and it makes them feel better about upholding the truth of, getting that out there and actually like feeling that difference. But it's not necessarily like feeling totally the difference. It's making the difference happen within each side of your mind. There'll be a side of your mind that wants to make other things happen. There's going to be a side of your mind that wants to make the opposite happen because of the fact of which is happening. That is the only reason why, when we see this polarity of the devil archetype, the thing that wants to separate, the separation comes to antagonize, to try to do that, to cut it off from what it is. It was jealous. This archetype that was jealous of the greatness. The greatness, why we don't have it, is because we're jealous of that, of what it's trying to do. See? But it's through time and time and time. But we realize that. And we shed that layer. What happens when we shed this layer? It pulls that to the surface of that greatness. And the greatness is seen. We all want to be that greatness. Because we realize what we're neglecting, we're actually being egotistical judging that. We were judging Jesus the whole time. We were actually putting this own archetype over what he was trying to say and what his words meant, If he meant to say something, he really meant that. He wouldn't say that and then have you perceive it in like a different way, like he would mean what he say and say what he mean. Because if this world doesn't say what they mean, then we think Jesus was the same way as this world, but he's not. So that's why it's that same way that it gets perceived, but it's... So do you get what I mean? Like, all I'm trying to say is that this is what's happening. This is what you got to pay attention to. And all that the things are, that's puzzle pieces coming into your life, is because the consciousness of me, of what I'm connected to, of you, of what you're connected to, of when you try, it amplifies stability of me is when I try. And then the more of me trying stimulates that more of you trying, which it's trying to get somewhere. Consciousness is trying to escape from something that it's in because it knows that it's not its full self in of that of which it's the co-creations are co-creating. That's why we got to co-create exactly what we want laid on the table without any external force or government system getting in the way of that control, which that if we go outside of the box, use all our time and energy, like I said, we create that of something new which has no pull over that, which only right things will be done with our will. Our will. Yeah, it's our will, to be done. And it will be done. Because it's your will. All of your will wanted the right thing. Then all your will have it done. Because you complain about the things that you don't want in your reality. You complain about the bad things that happen in your daily reality. But guess what? It's because of that you will against that and want something better for that. Because that you're in it right now, you could be outside of it. It doesn't have to be affecting you anymore, but you're still affected because you want to be in that other thing against it, thinking it's not going to happen for itself. If you thought it was going to happen for itself and being in that fully, like I'm trying to embrace every single day of my life, that's what happens for the rest of the planet. That's what happens for the rest of eternity. We shape this human being here. We have the power to totally make it what was right. They're afraid of that change. All these greedy people are afraid of losing that, losing what they had because of the fact of that they didn't want to do that work outside of the fact, because the control system was basically the temptation, right? The temptation to do that and have the whole world go to hell and cut. You could see the sickeningness and cut you off from it. But going back to the real truth of it, growing that real truth of it, bringing life back in that real truth of it. So when the time comes where that cuts itself off, that you'll be on the other side of it, realizing the love that's more important than all of it. The little mundaneness, the stupid things that pull your consciousness in a weird way that keep on playing out. The chemtrails, everything else. It's quite sick, yes, I know. And that's why I feel for you. And that's why kind of today I'm feeling, that's why I'm feeling called to do this. I felt like a little bit weaker because of the fact I'm trying to heal. When I rest myself, it takes a little time. And then after that little rest, finally, because I've been a long stretch, I've been just going. Now I'm trying to heal a little bit, because then I get that extra boom back for when I propel that way. Give me that little bit of extra strength that I need to fully step into the higher conscious physical degrees in the seat of the soul, which I amplify that change, and that which is changing. And all the heart chakra, and this every time, even before the bliss state, when you say release or, jack off or whatever, all I'm saying is that I feel from the brain and the heart, about 15 seconds before it happens, it starts activating real strongly, because I've already focused and channeled my energy. You don't have to think about it anymore. And focusing just on the feeling itself. And then when it activates, there's a permeation of life that goes into my forehead and into my heart. And it's life-giving. And it's not lust. It's love, There's a difference. And that's why it could either hurt you or grow you, And that was a difference. That's between good and evil. And that's why when we disrespected the women, that's in a seat of our soul of consciousness of what you're projecting onto the women, hurting the women, that which hurts us. It was because of that fact that was attacked. And it was attacked on man to begin with. And that was the whole strategy of this real archetype that was taking place, of which this real reality is. So it was taking place on man, and then man got manipulated into treating it bad on the women, and then that's what caused it. It's because of our own hard-headedness, not realizing we should be just focusing on the woman and giving that the grace, that the purity, that the love, the respect that it deserves. Then in return, we would hold our sovereign heart, and that was all our heart was trying to come from, to bring for that. And to have that, turned against us, and they get in this existence and they know nothing about this. And it's so hard for them to realize the other truth, because they got taught that ignorance was bliss the whole time. So the younger generations, believe it or not, the older adults don't even have any clue about this. But this is what was taking place, and this is what, on this mass thing that was taking place. But it's time for us to treat that with respect, put that first, change some rules, change some laws, make it cleaner, make it healthier, make it so that, for the women maybe, that we don't have to, do all these things, all these rule systems and all this other shit, to make that better in a foundation of itself, which was here to begin with, and treating that right, to fix that for our future generations. Because all them that feel that pain, all them little ones that you born that feel that pain, you're gonna fucking feel that from them, and it's part of your karmic karma that you will be experiencing this. And me, the karmic pressure on me is like you times a million. Like, this is my whole responsibility, and it's like, this is what I had to do. And it's only you knew how hard it would be, like trying to fix, the creation. If it gets distorted, it's not full and complete. To make that story full and complete again is to fix what was not full and complete. And it's so hard for everybody to realize that because they're not fully understanding it. And if they did, we fully take back it within our physicality to express, you know what I mean? To fully comprehend this characteristic in our lives that take place on many levels of what we are, to be in fully.